So I've been getting a lot of calls lately of people who want to buy somebody else's assignment. An assignment is basically somebody who bought a pre-sale who's now looking to flip it before it completes, sell the contract before it completes. We call that an assignment. So a couple times a week, I get a call from somebody who's like, hey, I've been hearing about all these pre-sale buyers that can't complete and can't get a mortgage. And obviously there's a lot of distressed sellers out there. I want to take advantage. I want to try to pick up one of these assignments for an amazing deal. And this isn't a reality, unfortunately. Like maybe there's a very, very small percentage where there might be a deal out there in the pre-sale market. I personally haven't seen it yet, and I'm going to explain why. First off, these buyers aren't distressed because they can't afford a mortgage. They are distressed because the appraisals are coming in low and they cannot get an appraisal to come in at an amount where the bank will lend on that property. So that's the first thing. The second reason is most of them can complete. They just don't want to because you're completing in a situation where you're already down 20%, 15%, and now you have to stomach $1,500 a month in negative cash flow. So it's not like these guys are, in a situation where the appraisal can come out and they are, not losing money on the purchase price and they just can't get a mortgage. So this is what ends up happening, all right? A lot of these pre-sales, pre-constructions, whatever you want to call it, were purchased in, let's just say, late 2021 to sometime in 2022. That is the bulk of the inventory that is currently coming up for completion right now. These pre-construction condos were purchased at prices that are like anywhere from 5 to 25% more than what the resale market is currently offering for that unit. So what ends up happening is, let's just say you have a buyer that paid $700,000 for a 2-bedroom in Surrey Central, okay? To get out of that pre-sale contract, break even, where they lose no money, they're going to need that unit to sell for like $735,000. But the value of it is like $620,000. So even if they sell it to you for the price that they paid, let's say they put down a 10% deposit, $70,000, they are still going to be losing half of their deposit because they have to pay realtor fees, assignment fee, lawyer fees, and all these other fees, right? So if they sell it to you for the price they paid, they lose half their deposit. But the price they paid is already way too expensive for current market value. Current market value is $620,000. Now, why would you even buy that assignment for $620,000 if that's the market value? Because after you close and pay GST, you're going to be at $650,000, right? So even at $620,000, it's not a very good deal. You would need to be picking it up at like $580,000. But understand that at roughly a purchase price of $670,000, that deposit that the buyer initially put down is completely gone now. So if they sell it to you for any less than like $670,000, $665,000, they will actually have to bring more cash to the closing table. It's a short sale now. They have to bring additional cash to the closing table to then square up at the lawyers. Now keep in mind, if they had this cash right now, they could probably complete on the purchase, because the problem is that the appraisal value of the condo is coming in low. It's worth $700,000. The appraisal is coming in at $650,000. The bank will only lend them 80% of $650,000. They bring 20% of $650,000, which is $130,000. But because you still owe the developer $700,000, you have to bring an extra $50,000 to close. So now you need $180,000, where if the appraisal came out, you'd only need $140,000. So you need an extra $40,000 to close on this unit because the appraisal came in $50,000 shy. So most of these assignment sellers, even if they wanted to offload this assignment and you were going to somehow get it for $580,000, these sellers would have to bring like an additional $100,000 to the closing table to be able to sell this assignment to you, which they probably don't have. And that's the reason why they're not closing on it to begin with. So instead, what has been happening and what people have been opting into as the solution, if you're somebody who is stuck holding one of these pre-sales where the appraisal is coming in low, or you just don't want to complete on it because the cash flow negative situation sucks and you're, negative equity, whatever the case may be, they just walk from their deposit. Now, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not definitely not telling anybody to do this. There are potential very bad repercussions for doing this, like having a developer sue you for damages later on, and it doesn't have to be tomorrow. They could sue you 2 years down the road. You have really no idea when it's going to happen. But if you put down a 70 grand deposit and the unit's worth 620 and you have to pay assignment fees and realtor fees, financially, it makes more sense just be like, take my deposit, take my 70 grand because I'm going to lose 120 if I actually sell this for the real market value of what it's worth right now. And if I didn't want to sell it and take that loss and I wanted to bring extra capital to close because the appraisal came in low, well, I'm still going to be underwater on this and now I'm going to be cash flow negative. So what people do instead of selling these assignments is they just forfeit their deposit and hopefully the developer doesn't sue me. Now, back in 2023, there was deals to be had in the assignment market because back then you had concrete towers that sold in 2019 as the assignments because all of those units were purchased at much lower prices and they had a big profit margin. And therefore, anybody at that time, if they couldn't get a mortgage to complete, it would be worth it for them to just like lower the price, lower than market value, make less money and sell it to you. And you're basically doing them a good service because you're getting them out of a very bad situation where they can't close, but they still get to make money. The profit's there for them to make money, and it's a win-win situation. Today, that's not the case. So I don't even know if I've ever seen one assignment come up in the last year where it's made sense for somebody to buy it. Now, there might be assignments out there, maybe in the townhome market, right? Something that was purchased a year ago that isn't down 20%, or maybe a concrete assignment that was again purchased in 2020 that, the completion date got prolonged or something like that. But for 99.9% of assignments out there, they don't make sense for the buyer and they don't make sense for the seller. So the only two options the seller of this assignment has is lose the deposit, complete, be, in a situation where you're down on the unit and you're cash flow negative. That's it. Those are the only two options for the most part. If you're a buyer, what I would recommend you do instead is there's actually a lot of really good deals in the pre-sale market itself, where you can literally buy them cheaper than the assignments on the assignment market. Or if you don't want pre-sale at all, just go buy something already built and lowball that guy. Because there's also going to be distressed sellers in the resale market, just like there would be distressed sellers in any other market. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news today, but buying a distressed assignment sale isn't really a reality. Maybe there's a couple out there somewhere, but I personally haven't seen any. If you want to chat about buying or selling, I have a booking link down in the description. You can book a call to chat with me. Otherwise, I appreciate you guys. Subscribe to the channel. I'm that Agent Kelly, and I'm making moves to move you. Peace.